I was thinking about, like, Hood is very charitable about the Drip Nation, and I've started to get this understanding that there is really, yeah, there is hope in a sense. So, just pearly things and Drip Nation, the way that went, that was completely. The way that it was the black chick, this way that they now they just get offended when the bullshitter liberals, they start bullshitting. You can't get any conversation going because they're constantly trying to crack all these like, oh, you know, blah blah, and you're just like, God damn it, you know what? Okay, let's just talk about sports ball. You know, you're a moron. Let's talk about sports ball. You know, you bullshitter. You can't discuss almost anything outside of 100 feet of them or their personal interests. And you're just like, yeah, that's... And once you understand this about kind of getting into any interesting conversation with liberals, like that's how it works. So a lot of people, they just don't, they're just not dealing with it. So now I'm seeing the videos more and more. Not just Drip Nation that Hoodservative will react to, but also what's been coming out of just black internet. And people that they're just done. Like black Americans who they're done. They're like, why should I speak this weird, colloquial, weird, inappropriate form of language that doesn't communicate anything? Why do I have to look a certain way? And why must I constantly be afraid that I'm going to be killed? I would rather not live around my own and not worry about not being killed. And this is, at some point, all pro-black, all black excuse streams. How are you supposed to raise, not Tupac? Everybody's got the Tupac t-shirt. How do you raise Prince Paul? See, and so you actually, none of you, probably almost none of you, there's probably a handful of you, if this were played in your stream, would know those names, both those names. And the import of the second, you would have to know about the actual history of that type of music, how important that person was as a creative person in that time. That's what culture, that's a part of the tapestry of a culture. Can anybody, do people collect the Eccentric Soul series from Numero Group? Do people really try to like watch the historic footage of people like Thelonious Monk? Those type of people. Why people will have Tupac shirts, but they won't have De La Soul shirts. To this day, there's like children wearing Tupac shirts in the excerpts, but you never see a De La Soul shirt, except on maybe like a guy like my age, you know, like once, you know. I remember one time it was the 3 Feet High and Rising album cover. It was, yeah, you know, Balloon Mind State. So do you even collect remnants of the culture so that you could familiarize your offspring with it? Do you collect it on vinyl so that there's kind of almost a ritual to the sound of the culture? Why wouldn't you collect these things? People own them and they're dying and they're selling them. There was whole scenes that existed. People sleep on what will, like, Amy Winehouse is a part of a scene. A whole scene of people who were playing soul music during that time. Big acts that were brand new. And we're doing things with soul music that it was really new sounding. It was a different take on it, ever so slightly. It was generationally different, but it was truly international, just like how the music of the revolution was blues, jazz, rock, and then this music that exploded with soul and psychedelia. Nobody knows what's going on in my mind but me. It was supposed to be a white girl singing a psychedelic song, but a woman who was black wanted to give it a shot, and Spectre, after giving her a shot at it, was like, that's a hit. So that's how that is this #1 single that nobody ever cites. So you should go through your panel and try to cite how deep are your crates. Go through your panel and tell me how deep their crates are, because then maybe it's worthy of listening to the historical insights of your panel. I think a lot of crates are pretty shallow, which says a lot about what you kind of really experience and know.